them. Everything's there, fine there.
Yep. So I was playing with Holly with DocuSign.
I can't figure out DocuSign.
We're gonna need to. We're gonna put some classes up for
We
it.
need classes because the one that they did, it just made everything more confusing for me.
The one they did, the one.
Yeah, the one Miranda did with Karen, I think, or not Karen, Jennifer. I don't know.
Yeah.
People's names. I know Miranda, but that's it. Oh, the lady the dark-haired lady. That's all I remember. And
Erwin?
I don't know who it was.
Jennifer, yeah.
No, it wasn't Jennifer. I know Jennifer. She's young.
No, that's Jen now.
Jen. Well, who it was?
Jennifer is our new MCA. And Jen is the assistant MCA. Green Sheets. We had to figure out what to call.
Jen 1 and 2?
Yep. So we went Jen and Jennifer.
Yeah, but it'd be great
How
if
about
you did some
OJ?
classes.
Original Jennifer.
Oh, Jay.
That's funny.
So, yeah, glad you're here. You're under contract now, what? So this one is going to have some older stuff because we're still in that midst of changing over. The ideas are still going to be the same. I think I got fall allergies starting to kick in. Fall allergies. Okay, you're under contract. Now what? Yeah. What's that?
I said get another one.
Get another one under contract, right? I'd thrown in here the We4C2Ts. No, we're going to skip it because we're 15 minutes late. We're going to skip that. Okay, dot loop. So when we're talking about this, interchange dot loop with command and DocuSign. Okay, so if you're dealing with a buyer, these are the things you need to have in your file. So in command. Have we talked about how to do this yet? Have you seen? I know we've talked about it. Have you seen how to do this yet?
Into command?
Yeah.
Into command?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. We're going to take.
I think you dropped it somehow.
I'm going to take a little detour here. There's going to be a lot of detour in this class.
I'm talking about from
This won't.
CTM to command?
If you're using CTM, it's kind of the same as what I'm going to show. All right. All right. Derek, is anybody watching?
Check.
Why, are you going to do something? Make it lively, Travis.
Make it lively.
Oh, and my long time, these people I've been trying to get them to go see some houses forever.
Yeah.
I've shown them houses on Friday.
Well done.
Now I get to sell theirs.
It says one, but I think that's probably me.
Or me, because I just. Oh,
That's
yeah,
cool.
It says you were watching. So it's just us two.
It's just us too. Well, we're going to talk about them then. Come on. So while that's loading, let's talk about the forms that we're going to need. We're going to need 24 if the exclusive right to buy is not signed before showing. The BD24 is the brokerage disclosure to buyer. It discloses those relationships and that you are not their agent. If you're showing houses and don't have an exclusive right to buy signed. If you have a buyer, you need the exclusive right to buy, the contract, counter if there was one, the buyer advisory, and create your green sheet within the first 3 days. Create a green sheet. What it does is it puts it on our radar that it's an under contract. Do it right away. For a seller, the O&E, owners and encumbrances, the exclusive right to sell, contract to buy, sell, error, the counter, seller advisory, and create a green sheet. And then, yeah, like Derek says, look for new business. Good call. Good call. Okay. This is
Command isn't pulling up, huh?
not on this computer. This is unfortunate. Okay. So within the first 3 days, what you need to get to the title company. If you have the buyer, you need to ensure that the earnest money is delivered. Check that you have an earnest money receipt. It needs to go into the file. Get it up, get it in. If you follow this, there's no rush at the end of your transaction to get your DA approved, to get your file compliant. It just happens, and it's just smooth, and you get paid. If you have this, deliver the CBS and counter, if there is a counter, to the title company. That's how they know to start the order. And then double check that the earnest money has been delivered to the title company and that you have a receipt. Notify the sellers that the earnest money was delivered, and it really doesn't say this, but deliver the earnest money receipt to the sellers.
That's what I was going to ask, if you sent that to them.
Yeah, we can change this.
My last closing file is a wreck. I'm so
Oh, yeah?
to get it together. Because the buyer side, it missed a lot of signatures and stuff.
Oh,
Closed on the house already.
and it's missing the signatures.
And like I don't know, the co-listing agent and the buyer agent at the closing table were texting each other. They showed up with jeans. The buyer agent showed up with shorts. And they were texting each other and giggling and laughing. So I'm just like,
Yeah, that doesn't feel good.
yeah, and they didn't get a appraisal report.
The buyers didn't?
And they specifically asked for, I thought the deal was gonna fall through at the closing table. I was like, oh my gosh. They're like, where's the appraisal report? And the buyer's agent's like asking the lender. The lender's like, oh, we waived that.
So, okay.
It was
Yeah. Due diligence. This is in the first 3 days. Send the inspector references to the buyer. 3 references. These are 3 inspectors you could use. Not just 1, 3. They all have different prices. They offer different services. Make sure they get 3. Ensure that the inspection is scheduled. Usually you have a 7 to 10 day window, sometimes a 14-day window for that inspection. So make sure that, that it's scheduled. That stuff can fall through the cracks, and then you miss the deadline. Ensure the buyer is in communication with their insurance provider. They're going to need to get that quote for insurance by the property insurance objection deadline. Make sure that they can get it. Order the meal tailings report if you're in Grand Junction and in Rifle.
every property.
Doesn't hurt.
Where do you order that from?
From the assessor's office, don't you?
No, it's from, I have the address.
And do they charge you for it?
Nope, it's free.
Oh.
It's a free report.
And that's what you do. You order it.
The buyer's side does that.
The buyer's side.
Okay, so like the buyer's agent or the buyers?
No, the buyer's agent or the buyers.
I mean, it's not that much work. If we did it, they would just.
It is not that much work at all.
They'd be like, oh, he's doing great. Look what he did for us.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Mill tailings. Copy. Oops.
What's it called? Mill tailing.
This is Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
CDPHE
Underscore mill tailings
tailings.
Good to know.
at state.co.us. Oh, I realize what I'm doing here. I keep cutting and pasting.
How long does it take for them to send that back to you?
Usually 24 hours. Paste. There we go. Provide buyer with a calendar of the dates. Absolutely good form. Here's the dates and deadlines. Here's the calendar. Nice, easy thing. Seller. Nothing to be done on due diligence. You could provide the seller with a calendar of the dates. But in the first 3 days, seller doesn't have a whole lot to do on due diligence. And usually when we say seller doesn't have a lot, we mean the listing agent doesn't have a lot. Let me go to talk to you about quickly or briefly. So this is command. I went to opportunities. Accept those cookies. Derek, are you using DocuSign or CTME?
CTME.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we go to a listing, an active one. Documents on an opportunity, listing opportunity, documents.
That's what happens to me. I go to documents and nothing happens.
Beverly was importing stuff today. I wonder if she accidentally did something. Super slow today. Documents. So here's listed, under contract, closed. So under contract, here we have all of the required files. Required, compliance is complete. Required was countered.
Oh, that's gonna help me so much.
Right?
Knowing what documents I need in there.
Yeah.
Right, I won't have a headache anymore.
Right.
My files.
Right. So to add it, let's say we're going to add the CBS. You say add file. You can click to browse. And look, here's a PDF. Or, this. Open.
Hey, that's mine.
Hey, that's yours. Well, I'm claiming it for my file and just assign it. Now it's there.
I think it's mine.
See that? Yep, Josh Bunniger. Yep. So now it's there. You know where else it is? It's in Kelly.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. It's in Kelly now. If my phone wasn't...
Drop it in there, it goes to Kelly?
All Kelly is a access to command.
Oh.
Kelly is just the app that lets us into Command. So if I'm out and about and someone asks me a question and I need to know the answer based off of the contract, I can go to Kelly, Command, Opportunities, that opportunity, and pull up the contract. Kelly is not separate from Command. Kelly is an app that allows you to access Command. And so this is in there on Kelly now. But I don't want it to be there. Hey, Marianne.
Hi.
We're going over, you're under contract now what? But what we were just talking about was if you upload a document into the documents on the opportunity here, you now have access to them through Kelly.
Cool.
Yeah. And if my phone wasn't right there, I'd show you. But it is, so I can't.
So is there a way just,
You,
I'm gonna, hold on, I'll be right back.
okay. She has questions. All right. I guess that's okay. Let's go back to this presentation here, though. Dot loop. 10 days in. This is about 10 days in. Disclosure is uploaded. You should have all of the, source of water, if there is one, square footage disclosure, lead base. You should have all of those signed, seller's property disclosure. You should have them all signed and uploaded. You should have the title commitment by then. Throw it into the loop. Into the
title company email that to you, right?
Yes. Yes. Make sure you get it and throw it into, this says, suppose I could start editing this into, there we go. Wonder if that's the best way to say it. Yeah. Disclosures uploaded. This isn't really a command class, Marianne, but I'm going to be back and forth on it. Okay, so disclosures uploaded, and to upload those like before, you would just, let's see, where is it? Earnest money receipt, square footage disclosure, inspection objection, lead-based paint. There it is. Oh, title related objection. Where do we have the title commitment on here? Under contract. Okay, so there it is, title commitment. So you just upload it like we did before. Now, if you're doing it through DocuSign, I haven't done this yet, so I shouldn't. Do it. Well, what opportunity are we in here? We're in on this one. Okay. Let's go. Let's see. Let's do it. Thank you for the challenge. We were just playing around and created an exclusive right to sell in DocuSign for this property. I'm going to do it right here. Feel like that spinny's got to stop before I'm going to see it. Probably just need to be patient, huh? Come back to that. Okay. Due diligence. If you have a buyer, 10 to 14 days, the inspection should be completed somewhere in there. Remember, these aren't hard and fast rules. This is about the timeline that the inspection would be completed. Inspection objection should have been made if there was one. The inspection resolution executed. The buyer acknowledgement needs to be signed if there is no inspection objection. You guys both remember what that is? It's a form that says I acknowledge that I had a right to get an inspection. I had a right to an objection if there isn't one. This is not a state form, it's our form to protect you. HOA documents should be reviewed. You do not have to have buyers sign a receipt of those HOA documents. You sent an email.
Do we upload those into DocuSign?
I believe there is a spot for them. And if there isn't,
I was uploading them into Dotloop.
yeah, and if there isn't a spot,
You just add one?
yeah, you can add. It's not a required thing. So you add item,
And just name.
HOA docs, document type. Yeah, you could say other. And then you manually upload them. Yeah. Ooh, I wonder if you could upload a PowerPoint presentation. I don't know. Item successfully added. Okay, where'd that go? Where'd that go? HOA docs.
You added a PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Did it let you do it?
It added it. It's not showing it to me yet. Let's see what it does. Failed to load the document.
Now you broke it.
I think I did. Yeah. Yeah, it uploaded it, but it didn't really like it. Okay. Don't do that. Okay, if you're dealing with the seller, you deal with the inspection objection and the resolution. Survey ordered if it's the seller's responsibility. HOA documents need to be delivered, and due diligence documents need to be delivered, if there are any. Okay, the lender side. In the first 2 weeks, make sure that the lender has the appraisal ordered. And to an extent, on the seller's side, you might want to make sure that the appraisal is ordered. Maybe I'll change this. Because I have had it where you're 2 weeks in and you're like, well, there are appraisal deadlines, in a week. I wonder when the appraisal is going to happen, and they haven't ordered it yet. And even though it's not your responsibility, it still screws up the deal for your seller. So make sure that appraisal gets ordered. Due diligence, 14 to 21 days. This is week 3. On the buyer's side, review the survey. Seller's side, review the survey. It's really about all there is in that period that needs to be done. On the lender's side, verify that the appraisal has been done. Deal with all of the insurance stuff. Verify the insurance quote is to the lender. Verify loan approval. For the seller side, verify that the appraisal is in value. It's good to ask. You never know when they're keeping something from you. Hey, Nikki. Add any documents. This is Dotloop, but in documents, in opportunity. Okay. Add any documents from the appraisal, survey, or title matters. Those may come up. They're only required if they exist. If there are some, it's good to upload them. It's also good, the instant you get something signed, you get an email in CTME that such and such is signed. Sweet. don't take a breath without downloading it and uploading it. And boom, it's done. And you don't have to be like, oh, this Friday I need to sit down and look at that loop. You just know, oh, I just got this. Boom, download, upload, done. You don't have to think about it. Add buyer acknowledgement if no inspection or home warranty. Submit for good to close for review. 21 days in.
21 days?
It's the third, fourth week. If you've got everything in there, if you've got inspections taken care of, if you've got appraisals taken care of, if you've got survey stuff taken care of, submit that loop for review. You're a week ahead, maybe even 2 weeks ahead. Submit it. If you want to get paid at that table, submit it. Wait for the disbursement agreement. You've already done the green sheet. Yeah. That way you're not waiting on that paycheck. Seller, add any documents from the appraisal, survey, or title matters. Submit for good to close. Same story. Okay, closing prep. You're somewhere in that 28-day period, days before the closing. Verify the closing disclosure issued by the lender. Closing disclosure is the document that shows all of the expenses. Needs to be submitted to the buyer 3 days prior to the closing. This is one of the biggest things that slows us down now.
That's that form that we went over where we went line by line, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The reason that exists back in the old days, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, it's not uncommon, it wasn't uncommon for a buyer to show up at the closing without fully knowing what they were paying for, what fees they were paying. And so they've made this rule now that 3 days before closing, where there's less pressure, right, they'll find out. There's less pressure, but still, what are you going to do 3 days before closing? Go find another lender because you didn't like the fees this one charged? It gives people a little more breathing room. Set closing time and place. Schedule the final walkthrough. Don't forget about the final walkthrough. Now, on the final walkthrough, this is not an inspection. It's not an inspection at all. It is going through and making sure the house isn't damaged, destroyed. Make sure that it's not, that it is vacant. Usually you do this half hour before closing. Funny thing, if the house burns down the night before and you go to closing and then you pull up to the house and you found out it burned down, whose house is it? It's yours. Yeah. Whose insurance covers it?
Theirs. Because it was before.
Yeah. So their insurance company's fixing a house that their client doesn't own. That gets messy. That gets really messy. So do your final walkthrough about a half hour before. Typically, we 10 o'clock closing, 9:30 walkthrough. Walkthrough, drive straight to closing. You send the DA to title. That way they can cut checks according to the DA, the signed DA. An unsigned DA is worthless. You need to have a signed one. Review the settlement statement with the buyer. Now, there's the closing disclosure is the lender going over documents, going over all of the expenses. The settlement statement, though, is not the closing disclosure. The numbers are all fairly well the same. Going back to real estate school, whose responsibility is it to prepare the settlement statement? Yeah, it's ours. It's our responsibility to make sure that it's accurate and to prepare it. We hire the title company to actually do it for us, but it's our responsibility. And it's our responsibility to go over it with the buyer or the seller make sure that they understand the numbers. Also, it makes them feel good. Confirm cash at closing with buyer. Make sure they understand, what their check needs to be. Make sure that they understand if it needs to be a personal check or a cashier's check. There's no hard and fast rule on that. The bigger the check, the more likely the title company is going to want it to be a cashier's check. And don't forget to buy that closing gift. I'm bad about this one.
Really? Lectured me.
I always buy a closing gift. What I'm bad about is usually it's the day before. I'm like, all right, what do I have tomorrow? Oh yeah, closing. Oh God, I gotta get a closing gift. Okay, gotta go find, So what I recommend is you have kind of a standard thing that you do, so you don't have to think that hard. I lectured you? I don't remember that, but.
I was like 20 minutes into the drive when I realized I left the closing gift here.
Oh. What should a closing gift be? What?
Something that they will remember you when they see it.
Yes. Yes.
See it.
And something that's durable.
Remembered it.
You remembered it. You remembered it. Yeah. Something that will remind them of you every time they grab it, see it, use it, whatever. Everybody's got their own style. Ian, what do you do for a closing gift?
I don't know, it changes a lot. I mean, if they need, sometimes people are moving and they can't clean their existing house they're moving out of, so we'll hire cleaners to go in after them.
Oh.
Sometimes
Yeah.
if they're leaving state, we'll give them several gift cards for like Subway and fast food on their trip.
So you do something that's more about making their life easy the day or two after, rather than that long-term thing that they'll have a year or two down the road.
We don't hardly give like cutting boards and
Yeah.
stuff like that ever.
I gotcha.
Yeah, more like what's practical for them.
Uh-huh.
And we ask people a lot of times, we can hire a moving truck or we can pay for your house to be cleaned. Which one's better for you? Stuff like that. So
That's
gotta
cool.
let them choose.
So when you pay for a moving truck, is that $300-400?
No, it's usually about $100 for a day. So if they're in
Oh,
town,
for like the in-town
yeah, it's
day.
like we'll, get it for 8 o'clock in the morning. You can pick it up, and then if you keep it overnight, it's another whatever. But that's on you.
Right.
We'll cover the first $100, and so we
That's
rarely
cool.
go over $100.
Yeah.
Usually try to stay around like 50, really.
And you have a cleaning crew come in for $100, if that's what?
No, usually it's like 2.
2.
But again, like sometimes we'll say, hey, we can do this, and we'll cover the first $100 for you.
Sure.
So
Cool.
stuff like that.
Okay. Seller. Insured title has the loan payoff information. The title company needs to call and get a balance and loan payoff for the seller's existing loan. The title company is usually really good about pursuing you on this. I give my closers permission to contact the seller. That way, I'm not an intermediary of loan numbers. I don't like doing that. Set closing time and place. Yep. More and more now, the buyer and the seller aren't in the same room. That's been happening. I can't remember the last time now I had a buyer and a seller in the same room.
Why? Is that just like common practice with your title companies up there? Or?
No, it's just people's time and schedules, and
Oh,
yeah, they want to get out of town. Day of closing is Friday. Why do they want to hang around? They've had to pack everything up. Why do they want to hang around till 10 a.m. on Friday when they can hit the road at 5 a.m. and be good? They're leaving town, or vice versa with the other seller. If I've got the buyer, I've got to work on Friday.
yeah.
Can't get it off Thursday. I've got a window on Thursday. For some reason, I've been finding the buyers and sellers, it's less of a big deal. It's not like, today is the day I'm buying a house. Yeah, I got an hour between 9 and 10. I can fit it in there. We can do it then. Yeah, oh no, we're going to be moving in next week. You know, that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's just been happening with me in my life. Confirm how the seller will receive funds. Do they want a cashier's check? Do they want that electronic funds transfer? Send a signed DA to title. Review the settlement statement with the seller. And a closing gift. The day of the closing, have that final walkthrough. Remind them to bring their ID. It's only happened to me once, but it did happen once where the buyer didn't bring their ID and had to go home to get it. And we were all just sitting there at the table waiting for that to happen. Attend the closing. I know, but it's a checklist. Verified checks match the DA.
That's important.
Ma.
Why did it?
Mine didn't.
You did. Yours didn't. Yours didn't. And what did you do about it?
Call Jennifer.
Was the DA wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, because the gross commission amount was wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did it for 3% instead of the 2.5.
Ah, the title company did it wrong. Gotcha. That ought to go on here.
Check your commission.
Yeah, you know, verify with title the commission amount.
Do you have on there, Travis, that you can't use a personal check for your cash at closing?
We have talked about, sometimes you can, depending
It's
we just talked about the amount, right?
Fair.
Yeah.
Just know that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's one of those things.
You're like, oh,
things to
I
ask.
thought I could write you a $130,000 check. Yeah, definitely. Verified checks match on the DA. Bring the market center their check. You got yours, but you still got to bring that one to the market center. If it is the end of the month, they really need that check because everything has to go in. If you're having a Cedar Edge closing and it's the end of the month, Jen can sometimes make do with a photo of the check. She just needs to know it exists and it's the right amount because sometimes they're not the right amount. Upload closing docs and finalize the loop. Follow up that all is well with that buyer, you know? Call them the day after. I just want to make sure everything's going well. Make sure there's no issues with the house. You can stop by if you want. Survey, review, other. These are follow-ups. Add to past client touch system. Get them in your system now. They're past clients. They're the best source of referrals you're ever going to have. With the seller, attend the closing, bring the check, upload all the docs, pull that sign in lockbox. That's another one that can be easy to forget, is that you didn't do the final walkthrough. You didn't go there, but you got to remember to go get that sign in lockbox. Those things are expensive. I don't know how many times I've seen signs just thrown next to a garage.
I brought one back.
You brought one back? That some,
From a showing, I found one laying next to a shed.
you found a Keller Williams one? Right on. Close it out on the MLS. Verify the seller received their money. And add to your past client touch system. Go to dinner and close the next one. Yay! I'm going to upload this on Facebook again. It's been up there. You can download it again. Download it. Follow it. Check things off. Anything I missed on here? No? Anything not totally clear?
I haven't even logged into DocuSign.
You should do that sooner rather than later.
Terry
like right now. Wouldn't be bad. Do you guys know about websites?
Yeah, that I do know.
Okay.
Know about what?
Playster websites.
We're not supposed to pay them, I know that.
Yeah.
Amanda said something out yesterday about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just bringing it up again. Because you never know who gets the message and who doesn't.
Oh, look, it let me log in. I don't think I even created an account before.
Did you have one at break?
Now look, there's my signature. Wow. Okay, I wonder if this is like the correct one. When we first merged to DocuSign, what did we have to do? Just go to DocuSign website
Amanda
and
sent out an email and we're supposed to follow the directions on the email. Did you do that? Pay attention to Amanda's emails.
They are important.